The first will have to do with the system that they inherited from the previous administration.
Yes.
The fact that that system they say is obsolete, they can't, upgrading that system will be too expensive.
Yeah. Or they can't.
They can't upgrade the system. And that it makes sense to procure a new system which is cheaper.
Yeah.
So let's deal with that first before we come to the register. Why do you disagree with the EC?
Well, we disagree with the EC for a number of reasons. One, we think that a system that cost as much as $60 million, for which about 40 million was only incurred only about 4 years ago, cannot be said to be obsolete. Why do we say so? The EC in 2016 spent millions of dollars to upgrade their system.
Which was originally procured for 2012.
Exactly. Upgrade their system. So that system cannot be said to be completely obsolete. And you see, the EC's central argument, technical argument, has, of course, they seem to be relying a lot on STL, which they have already discredited. Two, they seem to be saying that, or creating the impression in the public that the entire biometric, the entire voter management system was or has been in existence since 2011. And we are saying that cannot be true because per your own expenditure plans, you spent huge sums of money in 2016 to upgrade it under your own strategic.
So the system we have now is not the 2011 system.
No, it cannot be.
It's a 2011 system with upgrades.
Yes, because in 2016, there was an an independent IT expert that did an audit of the system. And indeed, if you read that report, nowhere did the IT expert make any recommendation for a complete or a new voter register. It kind of advised for the continuous upgrading of their system.
Of course.
And that is something that they have been doing. So it comes to us as a surprise that the EC will be making an argument like that. The other point I want to make is that if you look at the new feature that they are adding, and which we pointed out to them, which is the so-called facial recognition feature, it's found to be inferior. Besides, it will not address the fundamental problem, which is the non-recognition of the fingerprint. If it will not solve the fundamental problem, why would you push for such a feature? Because everything in the biometric data system is going to be intact, except the facial recognition technology, which is not the panacea to the problem of manual verification. In any case, manual verification is not illegal. And if you look at the recent election and you look at the non-recognition rate of 0.64%, it is reasonably acceptable. And so if you are going to introduce a system, one would have thought that you would introduce something that will give us a better, a higher level of efficiency rather than something that will not solve the problem. And we were saying that the iris scan, for example, is the best approach if you wanted to even solve that. Because the iris scan is supposed to be a far more biometric feature superior to the facial. And we have challenged the EC to prove to us if there can be 100% biometric authentication. The EC has so far not put that information out in public, and we want to throw that challenge. We will be ready to agree and go with EC if they come and prove to us that they are going to have a biometric system that will provide us 100% authentication.
So you've addressed two issues. The EC also raised a cost issue, which I would let you address. But you said the claim that the system was procured in 2011 and therefore is obsolete is not true.
It's not true.
Because per their expenditure in 2016, they spent money to upgrade the system.
Yeah, if you indulge me, let me quote some amount of the money that they spent.
Yes.
In 2014 and in 2016, the EC spent $4,375,330. Let's say, for the sake of argument, $4 million. $4 million.
In what year?
This is 2016. For the supply of biometric voter registration kit component and ancillary services. In the same year, they spent $1.1 million, I'm approximating them, for voter management system upgrade and rollout training. So when they say they have not been training their staff and those things, that's problematic. Then in the same year, preparation of BVD and ancillary services, that is $14 million.
Still
2016. In the same year, construction of prefab district offices, that is phase 1 and 2. That is 5.8 million. The phase 1 is 8 million. Phase 2 is 5.8 million. These are in dollars. Then advance payment for the supply of Xerox printers, that is printers. That is $137,000. Payment of voting screens for the 2016 general election, $2.1 million. And the payment of supply of biometric equipment and other ancillary services, that's $10.2 million. These expenditures were incurred only in 2016. So how can the EC, conflate everything together and say that they are all obsolete?